The Nintendo Virtual Boy. Released back in August 14th of 1995, was Nintendo's probably biggest failure console so far. Not sure about the Wii U yet, but so far they've ever released. It came just like this. This is my original Virtual Boy that I got in, I believe it was August, because I was waiting for it until it came out for my parents to get this for me. It's in pretty good shape for being as old as it is. You can see it still has the free battery offer. Whenever oh no, it expired, I don't know, like 15 years ago. But you can see it's in pretty decent shape. The box. Take a look here. You can see the little weep around the flaps. There's the back. It's kind of a mini review here of the Virtual Boy and whether I think it's worth collecting for or not. Alright. It's pretty good. Eye advisory for players 7 years and older. So don't let your little ones play this, and don't play this too much if you yourself have a problem, because it will kill you. Not quite, but almost. Take a look here. We'll pull this out of the box. There's that Duracell batteries, but they paid something for that placement, thinking, wow, Nintendo, they're going to sell lots of consoles, we're going to sell lots of batteries, when they didn't sell hardly any. Alright, we got the manual. Pull that out, take a little look. Alright, there's the manual. Oh, it's in red. Ah, fitting. Because every color, the Virtual Boy can display any color, so as long as it's red. If it's red, it can display it. That's about it. And black, but that's not really a color. Take a quick look at the manual. Tells you about the stand. Good illustrations. Controller looks pretty good. Takes 6 AA batteries. There was an optional power adapter you could buy for this that let you hook a Super Nintendo plug into a little box that plugged onto the back of the controller. The foam piece for the eyes, don't forget about that. Wow, there's some troubleshooting. How to do the alignment. And there's some, I wish these parts were still available for this price, because I had another Virtual Boy that was missing the foam eyepiece, which I could have got for $3.50, but I ended up having to pay $10 for it off a broken Virtual Boy. Set that aside. Here's the system. Came with Mario Tennis, so it has a little clippy. Goes to the bottom, keeps the pin connector. Again on this, I'm not sure how well they show up. It's not a card slot, it's a bunch of pins. So it's just a simple pin connector. I would imagine that, actually, if this system would have taken off, I bet that would have become a problem later on. Stuff getting stuck in here or bending a pin in the console. But since it didn't take off, the problems didn't really surface. Get this stuff out. There's the controller. I actually took this out and put batteries in it recently just so I'd have them. The battery pack does slide off, and that's where you would slide the Super Nintendo adapter, and then the Super Nintendo plug plugs into it. It's 1 volt too much, but I'm sure Nintendo planned on that. That's why they made it like they did. Oh, and you can see I didn't even do it right. I'm a terrible person. There we go. It's a lot like an N64 controller, this part. If it just had this other piece sticking out on the bottom, it would feel like it. It's not too bad. With the batteries in it, it has heft. Without the batteries, it actually feels kind of junky without the batteries in it. The stand, which is not broken. A lot of these, right here, this clip breaks. And sometimes it breaks here in the back because of the way you'll see I'll assemble it, try to get the best video I can. Sometimes this breaks and the legs become real loose and they won't stay open like this. Set that off to the side. And they didn't use foam on this one like the Super Nintendo, even though this came out before the Super Nintendo. They kind of had a cheap cardboard molded thing. I don't like this as much as the foam, although it does, like, it got bent a little. Foam would have broke, so I guess it does hold up. But set that out to the side. Here's the unit itself. See underneath you have the controller port, an extension cable so you can hook up 2 players. I don't believe that was ever released. I'm not 100% positive, but I don't think any games take advantage of that or it was ever released. You can use headphones. This actually, it has stereo speakers built right in, and they actually sound, I would say, damn good. They actually sound good. I have no problem with the sound. Maybe a little lack of bass, but these games didn't really have it much anyway. There's the volume control for the internal speakers and the headphone jack. At the top we have focus adjustment and depth of field basically adjustment. Try to line that up. Kind of like the 3DS slider. That's it. I mean, that's all. It actually has a good bit of heft to it. It feels good. Let's see if I can get this on the... Sorry if I'm holding this up too much for the camera. I'm trying to do my best so you can see inside. I actually got video footage of the startup of Mario Tennis, or actually me trying to play Mario Tennis through a lens but not actually being able to see it. I'll put that on at the end of the video. And I also have the intro to Red Alarm. So I'll put those up at the end of this video. We'll get this stand here. It sits like that. It's the way I always sat it. Actually, I'm not even sure how the instructions say to do that. I always sat it like this and put the console on like this. It's hard to get it all in the frame like that. But we'll see how exactly the manual says to do it, so we do it just right, like Nintendo meant. Oh, I was doing it right. See, it sits like that. You lock it in. The pad says Nintendo toward you. So, adjust the camera here, and I'll come back and see what we can do. Alright, got the camera readjusted. Set it like that. Actually, before we put that on, let's plug the controller in. It can be a tricky to get that controller lined up right without seeing it. So we will... Controller's plugged in. Put it in like this, back first. Push the button. Kind of slide it, and it locks in. Now see, that's pretty flimsy here, that plastic. That's basically, if you push too hard, you're going to keep putting stress on that joint and you're going to break it. A lot of these are broken because of bad joints. I'll put Mario Tennis in. They go in label up. I don't know if the camera will pick up anything in the screen or the volume. Start it up. And I don't know if we're going to get anything video. I don't think you're going to be able to pick that up. But I'll tack that onto the end. You can hear the sound. Not sure if that's picking up. Yeah, you're not going to be able to pick it up in here. But I do have video attached to the end. And I would say this is well worth collecting. Because it's hard to come by. But there are only 14 games released in the US. So if you can get all 14 games, you're all set. Now some of the games are a little more expensive. I think the last time I looked for Waterworld, it was going for probably, I would say $80, $90 a copy in the box. So I haven't looked in a while. It may be more than that, maybe less. These things, you lose this part, it can get pricey because most of the people that have one of these have the Virtual Boy. They don't want to get rid of this because then they have that. I bought one of these just like this at a yard sale. It came with just that, a broken stand. I was able to fix the stand for like $10. Good deal, but then I was off the faceplate. And then I found another place that had a broken one, but he had this, and he was willing to sell this for $10. So I had $20 in the other one. I traded it away to someone, and it worked fine when I traded it. We tested it. As soon as he got home with it, there's a ribbon cable inside these that connects the screens to, I guess, the main board, and it goes bad and causes lines on the screens, or then they go completely out, and that's what happened. Didn't blame me, but, you know, it can happen. This one could happen right now. As I'm looking in here, it looks pretty good, but you can't see it because of how bright the room is and the camera. Probably still hear the music. But it's worth collecting. It is so unique. I find it as one of my prized part of my collection because it is in the box still and everything is good. So if you have the opportunity that you can pick one of these up for a reasonable price, and I would say reasonable $50 or less. They may sell for more than that on eBay. I wouldn't recommend paying more than that. You can still find these. These are not too difficult because at the end, when Nintendo, they only sold it for a few months and they discontinued it, they started selling these things off. They started selling like the unit itself in the box, just like this. just like the way this one came, you could get for $29 at most shops, because they were just trying to get rid of everything that they had left. So they were cheap enough that they were selling them like crazy there at the end, but by then they had stopped making games for it. They made Waterworld, which no one wanted anyway, but that's expensive now. There was a Wario game that was actually considered really good, and the games I have for it, I have 4 games. I'm not going to film those right now, but eventually I'm going to do a video probably on each one if I can. I have Teleroboxer, 3D Baseball, I forget what it's called, 3D All-Star Baseball I think it is, or Virtual League Baseball, that might be what it's called. Red Alarm, and this game, Mario Tennis. So I have 4. I'm not really actively looking. I did see Wario, I think it's called Wario Land, recently, but it was $25, and actually I found that was too much, so I wasn't going to pay it. And that was in the wild. So you can find these out. You don't have to order from eBay every time. I actually hate eBay for stuff like this because it gets overinflated on there because people think they can't find it out, so they go on eBay and they jack up the price. So if you were to find this on eBay, it'd be overpriced, even if all you needed was the front part, which I can't seem to get this phone to stay on. See, that was another thing. I guess the reason why they got lost, people would lose them because they'd fall off. There it goes. Now it stays on. But yeah, I would collect this if you could and put it away. You ain't gonna, well, after you play it a little while, you're gonna have a headache and you're gonna be tired of it, and you're gonna get tired of buying batteries for this thing. 6 AA's. They do last longer than a Game Gear, which isn't saying a whole lot since the Game Gear only lasts about an hour or 2 on 6 batteries. And you're not going to want to play it for longer than an hour or 2 before you get tired of it if I don't break my camera. So my final thoughts would be pick it up, put it away. Test it, play with it a little bit, and then put it away like mine. It's going right back in the box when I'm done this, unless I need to get some video footage of one of the screens for the next games, because I may do reviews on some of the games independently. If I can figure out a way to play them while looking at the game through this viewfinder, then I will try to do reviews of them. So, stay tuned for my next video. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be yet. Check out gamecollect.in. Start, picking the games you already own. It's real simple to use. Just select the games you own, add them to your collection, and say you're out at a yard sale. What you can do on this site is open it up on your smartphone, which if you don't have a smartphone, I don't know what you're doing. Open it up on your smartphone, check to see if you have a game. Because sometimes you have too many, you don't remember anymore. I have, 800 and some games. I'm not sure which ones I have. I picked those up. So, thanks for watching, and please subscribe for the next videos. Thanks.